All right. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, guys, to crypto market discussion where we talk about everything happening in the markets. Yeah, Spetsna, what do you think? We're seeing a brief bounce. Before we jump to that, let's just look at some news. You're about saying
Yeah, because
something.
yeah. The market is. I've checked out what's happening in the market. We've had more than 400,000 BTC sold
Yeah,
in like 1 month, right?
yeah,
And at the same time, we've had more than at five. I think more than 580,000.
yeah,
Sorry, more than $580 million worth of BTC
yeah,
ETF bought, right? But then we're not seeing there's no like sustainable bounce in the market. It's only indicating that the whales there's a strong selling pressure from the whales, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
if we have more than $580 million worth of inflow from ETFs,
yeah,
and the market hasn't actually bounced and recovered properly, it's something to be concerned for, for the right. So we're
yeah.
just hoping that things at least help in the coming days and weeks, because the market is not really looking healthy, to be honest, right?
Yeah. But then again, I'm trying to bring up my screen here briefly. Just briefly. All right. But then again, if you look at the last thing we were talking about yesterday, we were talking about BTC if it would go below 104,500, and we actually did see BTC go slightly below 104. I think it almost got to 102,600. You get, but looking at altcoins, most altcoins were still holding their floor price like really well. In fact, if you look at this morning, immediately we got that
Mm-hmm.
bounce early hours of this morning. I think that bounce started around 6:30, 7 o'clock, barely 2, 3 hours ago. That we got that bounce in the market with BTC going back to 104K. If you look at the performance from most alts, you find out that most of them are bouncing back so fast as if nothing really happened. Yeah, and if we use this information to compare and contrast with what has been happening in the markets previous times, that is how you know that you're at the very bottom of the market where things are about to like lift off. You get where things are about to lift off and start pumping aggressively. All we just need is Bitcoin to be stable around this zone, or maybe BTC to pump. But for me, I'll say Bitcoin to be stable. That is literally what we need. Now, if you also look at Uniswap, despite everything that happened, Uniswap was still holding its position like
Yeah.
really well. Please, for those joining, please share the link. You can share the link, invite anyone you want to invite, follow or subscribe to the channel, depending on where you're watching from. If it's from Twitter, you can repost or quote the post or share it to anyone you want to.
Retweet, yeah.
If it's YouTube, you can copy the link and share to anyone you want to, and you can also subscribe to the channel. Yeah, for those watching. Yeah, you find out that for Uniswap, which we're actually on the Uniswap trade, we're on the Uniswap long trade that we got in yesterday. We shared it in the community. For those watching, that's why I need to be part of the community. We shared a Uniswap long trade in the community, which is still very much active. Now, if you watch, you find out that Uniswap was very much holding its particular level. It did not necessarily dump below even that entry zone. It didn't really give people
Mm-hmm.
an entry below that zone where we got in as much as BTC was trying to come all the way down. Yeah, Uniswap was still holding, and some other trades that we're into, they were still like very much holding their position. So before,
Even Litecoin too. Yeah.
yeah, Litecoin was very much holding its position. So I'm sure you can see my screen now.
Yes.
Yeah, so before we proceed to talking about some other trades we took and the performance, let's look at the top gainers today. So looking at the top gainers, there's some the coin that I've been noticing since yesterday as we move in Meteora. Meteora yesterday was around 0.41 cents, 0.41. Despite BTC dump, Meteora was holding. I know we're seeing something yesterday that that Uniswap announcement that they made if it's going to like kickstart a pump from Texas. Yet, and now we are seeing Meteora move. Do you think this might serve as a catalyst for other DEXs to start gradually moving? What do you think, basically? We also seen Asta. Asta is almost 7% up. What do you
Well,
think?
it depends. It depends because the announcement that they've made is solely for them in terms of starting to burn. Now, the market we are in is not rational, to be honest, right?
Yeah,
Where most people might start thinking, since Uniswap is pumping, this is Uniswap FDV. Uniswap is like the first or premier or primary DEX on Ethereum.
yeah,
Don't we look at the first primary or good DEX on, let's say, Solana or Binance Smart Chain? So people might start positioning for Cake, what's it called, Meteora, or even Jupiter, those kind of very strong dexes, at least to get like maybe a 10%, 20, 30% within a period.
yeah.
But the thing now is, would it really be sustainable? Is it that strong to cost like a dex pump? In my opinion, I don't think so, right?
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
just one of those things. It's just one of those things where we always have like a copy paste thing. Oh, it's happening on this chain. Why don't we copy and paste it on the other chain? And so I don't think it would. Assuming it was like a new protocol or a new feature or a new
yeah,
product from Uniswap, right? Then I think, okay, if this thing goes live, other exchanges or other dexes on other chains might now go and copy and fork that
copy it.
code, and then yes, and then run it on their own blockchains, and maybe the value the value of the token will start to go on. So maybe people are front running that particular news. So let's say Uniswap makes an announcement about their new product that they are launching, and they are going to launch it at an X date or is already live, then I
Yeah,
know that, okay, guys, start to go and start buying maybe Cake, or go and start buying another DEX project, even on maybe Ethereum there, because I know that those DEX too will go and copy this thing that Uniswap is doing. But if it's
yeah,
just an announcement about, oh, our economics, we now have more leverage and more regulatory leeway, then I don't think, personally, I don't think so. But let's see how these things play out. Yeah.
yeah. To all those joining GM, those joining on YouTube, those joining on Twitter, GM, please, depending on where you're watching from, if it's Twitter, you can retweet or share the link or quote the tweet. If it's on YouTube, you can subscribe and maybe share the link to anyone you want to. Yeah, now about Uniswap, I sincerely feel most persons are sleeping on this whole Uniswap stuff. And I feel most DEXs would be able to leverage on this. I feel Uniswap has stepped the game up a bit. Uniswap is always the pioneer in most of these things. Now, by the time Uniswap starts burning and most of their fees start going into buying back of the token, burning, and the token starts pumping, naturally, other DEXs will be forced to level up and copy the same thing. You get so I would
Yes.
say there's a chance for us to see DEX tokens start catapulting in prices. You get, but emphasis should be on profitable DEXs, because if a
That
DEX
can
is
buy
not,
back their token.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, if a DEX is not profitable, the token would not be able to pump aggressively. Now, if we use pump fund for example to imagine what buyback can do, pump fund is not even burning. They just announced buyback of Pump Fund token, I think 2 months ago when they announced that. And we saw Pump Fund token pump over 300% within a short period of that, within 2 to 3 weeks or so, because they started buying back Pump Fund token because they are profitable. They're making crazy money.
Yes.
So suddenly they started buying back, not even burning. They were just buying back, buying back. So we have seen several times where this buyback, then before you add burn, has been very, very good for the native token itself. So for Uniswap to do it, I'll say Uniswap is going to pump good. But other dexes, like other dexes, especially profitable dexes, and we know this dex business is actually a very profitable venture. Yeah, it's very,
Mm-hmm.
very profitable. But most times they've not been given back to the token holders in most cases. Now,
Mostly they
Uniswap,
just give back to like LP holders based on
yeah,
transaction fees. Yes.
yeah, exactly. So right now, most of them now would be forced to at least allocate a percentage of their fees. And I was looking at the stats yesterday. I think in the last 2 months or 3 months, Uniswap has generated more fees than Hyperliquid. Yeah, they have actually generated more fees than Hyperliquid. So you can imagine when a percentage of that is going to like buy tokens and maybe a percentage to buy and bond. So it's going to be huge. And I'm really excited to see the first DEXs that would be able to incorporate something similar to equally start buying their tokens and bonding it. So I think the alpha here is this is time for people to start researching profitable DEXs. Any DEX that is profitable. Now, this includes the likes of Asta, Apex, you get. It's not only the liquidity pool DEXs, but also the order book related DEXs too. This is like the best time for people to start searching out profitable DEXs that are very undervalued. Because in no time, they would gradually start pivoting to do like a similar thing because this market is highly competitive. No one wants to be left behind, especially in the case of tokens. So if you're unable to innovate fast enough and protect your users, they will dump your token for another one. They'll dump
Mm-hmm.
your token for another. And also, if you waste too much time to innovate, a new DEX will just spring up with all of those features, buyback and bond, and they will just steal all the users. So teams and projects need to start acting like very, very fast. And I still really do love the fact that Uniswap is pioneering this. I really, really do. So quickly on the comment, someone is saying profitable dexes. What about new dexes like Lab Trade and Bloom that their native tokens are under? Yeah, so briefly to take that question before we proceed. Profitable dexes because one, they have a track record. Two, they have substantial profits to cover their running costs, their ads costs, infrastructure costs, and any other thing they want to pay for, and also still have enough to save in case of there's a hack or any issue, and also enough to buy back and bond or buy back and add to treasury, anyone. Yeah, so that's why emphasis is on profitable dexes. If a dex is not profitable, it will be difficult for them to be able to do what Uniswap is about to do. So in most cases, is dexes with huge volume that can leverage on this, or OG dexes that have like a product market fit and a solid community and ecosystem that they've been thriving on for years. They can be the one to like very much leverage on this. So back to the charts, just back to um, the markets briefly. You've seen Nano. Nano has surged 31%, and we're gradually about to see some privacy coins get back into the running race. I think one of the most undervalued on my book right now, which I just took a position on last night, is Dash, because Dash dumped, I think, $64. So now it's at 69. So Dash really, really dumped,
Does Dash
dumped,
have
dumped.
any recent developments in terms of their protocol?
Well, they are still active on Twitter. They are still pushing stuffs. I've not really checked, or I think last time I checked was last week. But they're still actively pushing, still actively developing. But I don't think there's any solid core software feature that they have pushed recently. I don't think so. I don't think so. Unlike Zcash for Dash, I sincerely do not think so. So briefly, after this, I would share my screen for some of the trades that we're still on. After we look at top 100, top all, not top 100, rather top 1,000, but all tokens on CoinGecko, looking to see if there's any trend, particular trend that we can spot. So it's just random coins pumping, basically. It's all random coins pumping, which is good. It is actually good. It's not a bad thing. So let me share my screen briefly.
Another thing
Just
that
briefly, let me
probably
share.
we might get to see some pump from maybe in the coming days or weeks is
Yeah.
XRP. We might start to see XRP maybe go towards $3 and above $3 because I think their ETF should go live either this week, either today or tomorrow. And don't forget in
SRP
our last
ETF.
conversation, yes, don't forget in our last conversation we talked about them raising around $500 million, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, we could see that that pump or that push towards the upside. There are like a
But at the
few
same
good
time,
news in the market, right? There are a few good news in the market, but the selling power, like I was talking about in the beginning of the podcast, the selling power of the whales is too strong, right? More than 400,000 bitcoins sold within 1 month. It's crazy metrics, right? So we actually do need much more good news to for bulls to step in, start buying because we've seen $530 million worth of ETF buys, but Bitcoin price is not really pushing as high as we would expect it to. So let's see more good news coming. Let's see if Bitcoin can maintain, probably even maintain above 108. Because to be honest, if Bitcoin can't maintain 108, we might go and see Bitcoin
108,
below. Yeah, we
108.
can, yeah, 108. We can see Bitcoin below 100K. Because if these whales keep pushing, keep selling this amount of Bitcoin that they are selling,
But they are swapping to
because
something. They are swapping to something.
they might be swapping to cash, might be USDT, right? And maybe taking the money out. Because to be honest, $530 million worth of ETF bought for the price, we cannot really see that
Price action.
price change to the upside. And then we are getting 400,000 Bitcoin, not $400,000 worth, 400,000 Bitcoin sold
Yeah.
within 1 month. So imagine today is what? Is it 11th or 12th?
Yeah.
And within 1 month, the whole catastrophic dump we got 10th of October. Let's say 10th of October to 10th of November,
Yeah.
400,000 Bitcoin has been sold in the market. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is. So just briefly looking at the trade we dropped in our community yesterday, we shared this trade in the community. This purple line you're seeing here is TP1. So it did hit TP1. It's in our community. If you check our Telegram handle or Telegram link, you'll see it there where we dropped it yesterday. Now, if you notice, after hitting TP1, it went back to the entry. If you check the chart that was shared yesterday, it's exactly the same chart. Nothing was changed. Like absolutely nothing was changed. You'll be able to compare and contrast. Now, after hitting TP1, it went back to entry, and now it's making a move for TP1 again. All of this happened while BTC was still on a downtrend yesterday. Everything you're seeing here. Now, imagine what happens when BTC breaks out, or not break out, rather. Imagine what happens when BTC decides to like stabilize around that price. One inch, sorry, not 1 inch, Uniswap would most likely pump to $12 minimum. I'm expecting it to go above that, by the way. I'm expecting it to go above that. This is our TP2. Our TP2 is somewhere around here, 10.3. That's where we have our TP2. This TP1, TP2. This is our TP3. So there's every tendency that this is going to smash through our TP2 and most likely hit our TP3 or even go past it. So for those that are in the live stream and they are not in our community and you want to take the trade, you can actually leverage on this trade. There are some other trades too that we're currently holding, but won't be able to share those based on time. We'll most likely share them in the group. Yeah, in the community. We'll most likely share those trades in the community. Well, I think that's all. Looking at trades that we are sharing for now. Every other one, the chat will be shared in the Telegram channel. So let's take questions before we round up because that's hit the 20 minutes mark. Questions: does Jupiter Thena fall into profitable narrative? Which Jupiter is? Okay, Jupiter antenna.
Jupe.
Oh, okay.
Jupe.
Jupiter
The,
antenna.
the thing is,
Yeah.
Jupe is actually doing this thing that what's it called? Uniswap wants to implement, because Jupiter is paying everybody in January with the whole Jumpinary thing, where they are sharing part of their revenue. So they're already doing, and we saw,
Yeah.
the way that the people embraced Jupiter and how everybody's. The truth is, in Solana, when it comes to DEXs, almost everybody is using Jupiter, either directly
True.
or indirectly,
Or indirectly.
right?
Yeah.
Yes,
True.
and why that is partly because everybody's hoping that in January I'm getting some form of money, both individuals and other products, because products that are using maybe what's it called, Jupiter's referral, they get some money. Apart from the fees itself, they get some tokens, right? So this thing
Yeah.
that Uniswap wants to do, Jupiter is already doing it, right? And you can see the interest in Jupiter. You can see the money that is being given to people using Jupiters. Back
Yeah.
then, some of the people that got Jupiter airdrop did not actually use Jupiter directly. They used like Phantom Wallet. They swap in Phantom Wallet. Some of them use some other DEXs that we are just aggregating and routing through Jupiter, and they actually
Yeah.
made some money, right? So
Yes.
yeah, Jupiter falls into that category of profitable
Dexes.
DEXs, but it's just that what they are doing, what Uniswap is doing, they're already doing it, which could still cause Jupiter to still pump some more, to be honest, when
True.
the whole DEX trend, if this DEX trend sticks, yeah,
And Jupiter is used to giving back to their community.
it's a
So
normal
they,
thing,
they
yes.
might they might even want to outdo Uniswap. They want to outperform them with whatever it is that they are doing. So I think they'll be thinking hard right now on what to do to have that competitive edge. Yeah, I strongly feel Jupiter they'll think very hard on that, because they do come up with quite innovative and interesting things to keep the users involved and also carry them very much along. About Tina, Tina is being backed by Easy Lab, and that's a CZ investment platform. Yeah, so I can't say much about Tina. Reason is I've not looked at what they are doing currently, but I do know that they are working, they are profitable. They've pushed like an extra update that they pushed, I think, last month, October. Yeah, but I've not checked to see any other new stuff coming up. But Tina is very undervalued. For that, Tina is actually very, very undervalued, like really undervalued. It's one of those spots that haven't repriced yet. Still, I think around 19 cents or so. It is yet to reprice. Someone says old
I
wallets are
think
slowly.
I think one of the ways that you could check, or you could be able to kind of assume that a DEX is profitable, is for you to go and check how much daily volume they are doing, right? If you can, because doing well is or comes from the volume that they are doing a day. That's where they are getting their money from. That's the fees that they
Yeah,
are
the
charging.
fees. Yeah, the
Yes. So if
fees.
you know how much that they are doing daily or monthly, and then you can now use it to compare to, let's say, Uniswap or some other DEXs on that particular chain, to know that, okay, this DEX is like the second most used DEX in terms of trading volume. That would give you an idea and say, okay, oh, they are making money or they are good, and then you can, make some educated guess. So that's like the quickest and best way to ascertain small questions.
Yeah, I totally agree. And to check that, just go to Dex Screener. If you want to see like their trading volume, on chain trading volume, the fastest way, just go to Dex Screener and navigate to that particular DEX. The only difference here, right, might be slightly tricky is for DEXs that are on multiple chains. So for that, you might need to go a bit deeper, go to DeFi Llama and check to see like volume. That's also give you like the fees and show you the fees that they have made or revenue and all of those things. So someone said old wallets are slowly selling BTC and taking profits. People who bought at 16K to 20K are selling off. Yes, and I don't see any reason why they should not sell off. They're supposed to take profits. That is what we want. That is what we want to see. They should reduce their positions. They should rotate. to some other solid altcoins. That's like literally what I'm expecting. But I still think BTC can go higher, just not anytime soon. I believe it can get to 150K, probably sometime maybe towards the end of next year or thereabout. I do think it would get there and even go above 150K. But for now, I don't have an issue with me gradually correcting. I don't have an issue at all. Only people who bought above 60K are hoping BTC goes to 150K or 200K. Yeah, it depends on the category of people. There are people that are not even going to sell their BTC, even if it gets to 500K. They will not even sell it. They will just keep holding it. You get, rather they'll use it to some DeFi stuffs like maybe lending, borrowing, and some other stuff. So we are gradually getting to that point where people would rarely sell certain crypto tokens that have some solid utility. We are gradually getting there because let's say you bought a coin at 20K and it gets to 100K, you just need to sell a few to take out your capital and a few more to take out profit. The rest left, as long as that project still has potential, some persons can go stake it, some can use it to provide liquidity, just so it's providing funds for them passively. So people can now put it into any of these DeFi protocols or platforms to earn passively, while still leveraging and benefiting on the long-term price action of that particular coin and still making money from it. So crypto is gradually getting to that level, gradually. And soon that will be like the major thing we'll be seeing happening. So guys, yeah, we just did about 20 something minutes now. We've exhausted the time for today. It's always lovely doing this live stream and you guys joining. Please do not forget, if you're yet to follow or subscribe, please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to invite other persons. And mind you, soonest we'll start having other guests that would come and share some very, very interesting stuff to life and maybe inform us or educate us on some other ways that they make money in the market. You get to be on the lookout for that. And maybe you can also recommend maybe some persons that you would want us to bring live here. So once again, thanks guys, and see you guys same time tomorrow. Every other trade would be shared in our Telegram community. Thanks guys.
All right, guys. Bye.